Hello, this is Tazilon and I am in Erlenberg Assault Offense in my VK 2801 for the Lighthouse look at the myths of scouting. In this case, myth number 3, scouts should not fire their weapons. Bullshit. Yes, they should. If you shouldn't fire a weapon, you wouldn't have one in the first place. Now, there are times when you're passive spotting and you shouldn't fire your weapon because you have people behind you that are shooting at your targets. And if you fired, you'd expose yourself. Yes, you shouldn't fire your weapon in those circumstances. But it's bad because you have young scouts hear that and they think they're never supposed to fire their weapons. And that's just not true. There's a lot of times when you not only should, but you have to if your team's going to win the game. And this battle is going to illustrate one of those cases. A lot of scouts in the game. Each side has 4 scouts. They have 2 arty and we have 2 arty, then a mix of other tanks. The enemy team has more mediums than anything else, so they're kind of really set up more to attack than defend, but we have a lot of heavies. We're kind of set up better to defend than attack, so the roles are kind of backwards for what our teams are made to do, but it'll all work out here. Now if you notice how we're deploying, everybody but the scouts are going west. We have 4 scouts and 1 arty to support us over here to the east. If we wanted to win this game, we are going to have to fire our weapons. We can't all sit over here and spot and wait for non-existent tanks to shoot what we're seeing. We have to recognize the fact that, hey, we're the firepower over here and we need to be prepared to unleash our weapons. And we will. Watch. Doesn't mean we don't spot. We're still spotting. We're still being smart about it, but when we get a shot, we're going to take it. Like that. And I back out because they know he's going to see me as soon as I fire. I don't want to sit there and take incoming fire in return. I'll just move around, reestablish concealment, move back up. And if he's silly enough to keep coming back up there the way he is, he's going to die. Because I don't care about the myths of scouting. I don't listen to them. I play with what makes sense, not what people say is the way you're supposed to scout. Dead tank, number 1. They have a medium, they have a T-44, a couple scouts over here. They could easily just run south at us, but they don't realize how little firepower we have waiting on them. Actually, we have a couple tanks with good guns, but they definitely they're stronger on this side than we are. They just don't know it. I'm going to fix my ammo rack there. I don't want to have to take forever to load in a situation like this, because you never know when they're actually going to push south. Big hit by the arty, that helps. He hit the KV-85 for like 502 or something. Oops. Now I pulled out there knowing the Bulldog had position in front of me and he was rocking back and forth. So when you're in a close quarters like this, you have to be aware of your other tanks. He already had position, so I knew he was going to pull back up and take a shot. So I held my shot while he did. Because the last thing I want to do is shoot my own tank in a situation like this, where we're really not in a great position. It's just the enemy doesn't realize they could overwhelm us. Cromwell went down into the middle, so I'm loading heat just in case I get a shot. Be aware of where your teammates are, and if you see them pulling forward, just don't press the trigger. By the time you fire the round, you're going to shoot them instead of the guy you wanted to shoot. Didn't take any time just to wait a second. I mean, it did take a time. It took a second. But it didn't take any effort. It didn't hurt me to just wait a second, let him back up again, and take the shot then. A lot of people look at the enemy tanks and they fail to account for where their allies are, and then they end up shooting their own people. It's like you got to be aware of everybody on the field, not just the enemy. I just shot into that bush just in case he pulled forward when nobody could see him, and back him up out of there in case he's spotting people. But I didn't think he was there. I just felt like doing it. And I switched back to HE when I did. 44. I bet you wish I listened to myth number 3 and didn't fire my weapon, because I just bopped you for 428. Remember, this is just all scouts doing this. We're kicking their butts on this side. There's a M4 moving down the middle toward the 12T. Type 64 in the middle now too. Looks like the 37's already moving that way. Hopefully he picks him up. I'll watch and see if he does. It's funny because there's 3 of us and the 37's not really playing, but just between the Bulldog and I, the way we're shifting around, one of us always has eyes upfield. And so when they pop out to get a peek, one of us is able to shoot them and then retreat. We constantly have somebody in a different spot peeking. And the 64 is back there. 37 is not taking him out. I'm going to back up and shoot him if I have to. I thought the 37 would kill him, but if he can't do it, I can. Kaboom! Yes, I did. Thank you for noticing. Now, once that M4 is out of the way in the middle, we can run north. Then we get to overwhelm them. .37 is starting to move north in the middle. The 101 is going after the M4. Okay, they're both gone. Time to just run north, and we'll do to them what they should have done to us at the beginning, and that's overrun us. They're going to be... This is a bad pun, but they're about to be lit up, that 44 is. And that already has to be in the back corner because there's no other place they could be. Wow, that was... What? The 37 rammed and then the Bulldog got the kill. I guess that was weird. I thought the 37 got the kill. 2 tanks left. Bulldog's coming in on 1. We'll see who gets who here, but we'll probably trade up. So he shot him. I'll just come over here and shoot him. There we go. Game over. Now, look at this. 3 of our tanks had 4 kills. And look at it. 2 of them were scouts. And the 37 contributed on our side as well, as did the Artie. So, if we would have listened to the myths of scouting and not fired our weapons, we probably would have lost this battle. Because they would have wiped the east out, and they could have flanked our team as it moved north and the west. You have to be aware of the situation. And you have to ignore the things that say all you should do is spot. You should never fire your weapon. Your weapon's not big enough to hurt bigger tanks. Yes, it is. There's all kinds of different myths. If you're not running forward in the beginning, then you're not scouting properly. Don't listen to any of that. It's all on my webpage. In this case, I ended up with 1,798 XP, 3 spots, 2,031 spotting damage, 4 kills, and 1,809 damage. And it all ended up being a fairly easy win. We had 8 tanks left, they had 0. So once again, third myth of scouting, scouts shouldn't fire their weapons. It's true if you're passive spotting and firing will give your position away and you have support behind you. Be satisfied with spotting for your teammates. But there are many, many times, including when you're passive spotting and you're actively spotting people, where it's okay to fire your weapons. And in a mission like today that you just saw, we had to fire our weapons. We didn't have any choice. So throw all those myths out the window. Play to win, use common sense, and you will know when to fire and when not. From Erlenberg Assault Offense, happy hunting.